Well, they closed down the mill and they closed down the mine. They said you can't work but pay your taxes on time. Got 3 little babies gonna starve to death or freeze. We started making white lightning, it was Grandpa's recipe. Run, rebel, run to nowhere. Run, rebel, run to the Scott County Jail.
Good evening, everyone, and happy February. You're locked in for the next hour with myself and my co-host, Dr. Christy Sumner, on the Jailhouse Informant. Hey, Christy.
Hey, Miranda, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I am great. I am here in the historic Scott County Jail. I know you are remote in Cleveland tonight, but this is going to be a fantastic interview. I'm very excited. I've been meaning, we've been wanting to talk to these ladies for a while.
Yeah. You know, I'm loving this series, especially any opportunity to be able to talk to other folks who are doing the same thing that we're doing, maybe a little differently, but doing the same thing with other jails around the country, being able to highlight these places. You know, I'm loving it. You know, last week we had Henry Lee on, and we got to take a tour of the old Gilchrist County Jail in Trenton, Florida. If you guys missed that, he was actually on site at the jail. It was a fun interview, very informative. And this week we're traveling on down to Texas.
Yeah, traveling to Texas, not far from where my extended family is. So I'm excited to see hear some history about the Lavaca County Jail.
Yeah. And so for any of you folks in the chat room, whenever you come on, if you've got questions tonight for tonight's guests or for ourselves or comments about the location, please feel free to put those in the chat room there. And if you don't mind on your questions, put those in all caps, just so we make sure we don't miss you whenever we're going through and looking at the questions. So February, Christy. Going through it.
Yes, we have a lot going on. It's only the 5th of February, but it seems like it's already been here for a couple of weeks because we have so much going on here. So the very first thing is our Love Kills flashlight tour.
Well, our hours changing here with February.
Oh, right. We'll go with the hours changing. Yes. Yeah. So we do have some February hours. So we're not open 5 days a week. We are open Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So we're 11 to 4 on Fridays and Sundays, and then 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Saturdays. So come out and see us if you want to do a daytime tour, but we also have some very cool after dark tours. As I mentioned, our Love Kills series is the theme for this month, for the month of February. So as Miranda pulls that over, you can see here, that's our Love Kills flashlight tour. It's really interesting. We've got, as you know, if you've been to the jail, we have a lot of historical stories and artifacts around the jail. But what we're doing with this tour is we are highlighting 10 sensational stories here that have happened in the history of Scott County that revolve around crimes of passion, crimes of romance, crimes of jealousy, murder, attempted murder, suicides. So we've got 10 of those stories that we're highlighting. So if you come on the flashlight tour, we'll be talking about these. This is some of the things that we'll be talking about. Of course, this is the murder of Nancy Bankston. That was a T-shirt that was on her memorial run. So that we have that up. So we'll be talking about that.
I don't know why that went away. Bear with me just a
second. This is a random Facebook screen.
Well, it's the Lavaca County one. Apparently, when you share the screen, it doesn't allow you to just turn it over.
Gotcha.
Get that pulled back up. Yeah, you know, we're excited about those because we try to do new themes every month. We did this last year with our crimes of passion, and so being able to to do that again this year and highlight some completely different stories kind of helps us keep things fresh and new, because there are so many different stories that come throughout this jail.
Yeah, there you go. So we've got those stories highlighted with a red or white heart. And this is just, like I said, some of these stories that we'll be talking about: murder, suicides, crimes of passion. And so you can see these during the day tour, but during the nighttime tours, we'll take you through via flashlight and really break down the summary of all of these stories. So it's going to be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and they all have the theme of either crimes of passion, killer couples, love, obsession, control. We're really excited that to be able to share these, and these are just really scratching the surface of some of the different stories that we have.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you haven't done a flashlight tour, now is the month to do it. So come on down to the Historic Scott County Jail, book your tickets online at historicscottcojail.com, and we'd love to see you for one of our flashlight tours.
Yeah, we've also got guided ghost hunts. We've been booking a lot of those lately, and we just had one this past weekend. Had a lady who was celebrating her 60th birthday. She came, spent the evening with us and our local spirits, had some wonderful activity. So if you're interested in doing something special, we actually just booked another birthday that's doing a guided ghost hunt in April. Booked that today, and got several throughout the month of February and March. Those dates are not listed on the events page. Those are, if you call us, have some dates in mind, we'll look at our calendar and make sure there's not an investigation or another tour book that night. Get you on the calendar for you and your friends. We do have a limit of 4 on that. You have to have a minimum of 4 people or purchase 4 tickets, and you can have up to 6 people. We like to keep the numbers small so that we can make it a more intimate experience and not overwhelm our spirits that are there. And so, so if you're interested in a guided ghost hunt, go on and look for that. Also, private paranormal investigations. We do have some dates for February open on that, and those are typically Thursday through Sunday nights. So get on our calendar. We did open this past Wednesday the full schedule, so we are completely open with paranormal investigations through the end of the year. So I know some people were looking to get October through December booked. So you may want to do that, because September and October book up really, really fast. So you can do that on the page as well.
Okay. And then one more February, well, not just February, but one thing that we're starting now is our Tag the Jail. So we have these pre-painted 12 by 12 canvases. They're painted in the color of our jail cells. And so kind of what we want to do is to get community art at the county jail. So you can come by and you can purchase one of these canvases. Again, they're pre-painted, and you can put in anything you want. You can put in art, you can draw some words of wisdom, you can write a poem, write a song lyric, whatever you want. We just want some really cool stuff, because all of our cells, the graffiti was painted over in 2017, so our cells do not have graffiti in them. So we thought that this would be a really cool community project where you can buy one of our canvases. They're $10 plus tax, and put whatever you want. We do have discretion to deny anything based on obscene or racial or derogatory comments or anything like that. But otherwise, come and get your canvas and help us tag the cell here at the Historic Scott County Jail.
Yeah, and as Christy said, that's something that we'll be doing continually when you come in. We'll also have some marketing about that on the website. We'll have some marketing sitting up there in the jail, so that probably like a little tent card or something, so that whenever you come in, if you want to participate, you can do that. I think we're thinking that the art will stay up for probably about a month.
Yep, absolutely. It'll stay up about a month, and then you can come back and grab it, and it'll be yours to keep. But we want to show the people that visit the jail some of the talent here, the local talent in the community. So again, whether you're an artist, if you just want your kids' handprints on here, if you want to write a song, put your poetry on there, anything that you want that you feel would be appropriate for tagging our cell, we'd love that.
Janet asked, can you tag the cell via mail?
We'll talk about that. I don't see why we couldn't send something out to you, Janet, but let Miranda and I discuss that, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Great question.
Yeah. Just another good excuse to come out.
Yeah, Janet.
and see it for yourself, and we'll save a panel for you.
Yep. There you go. All right. So now that we got that kind of out of the way, and we'll kind of rehash it at the end as well for those that are joining late. But we have a really great show tonight. I am very excited about this. We've been kind of researching this location, and these ladies, I just can't say enough about them. They've done a lot with their location in Lavaca County in Texas. And so we're going to bring them on and kind of let them introduce themselves and kind of what they've been doing. But like I said, very excited to speak to these ladies.
Yeah, we've got the ladies from the old Haunted Lavaca Jail. Hey, ladies.
Hi, can y'all hear us?
They must not.
Hey, we can't hear you. Are they muted?
No, they're not muted.
Oh, we just had them.
If you can go to... Ladies, if you can hear us, if you can go to your settings button and click on the audio, you'll have to turn your speaker on because it's just turning your mic on and off.
Well, as we said before, when we get those ladies back, this is a very fascinating jail to me. It is located in Lavaca County in Texas. It's about halfway between San Antonio and Houston, like a direct line between those two cities. So, you
I'll
can get
pull that up here in a second, showing where it's at. I just want to watch for them to make sure.
Of course.
Because they're here. It's just turned their video off.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to remove them.
Yeah, we'll get them back here in just a second.
See them pop back up. Ladies, I don't know if you can hear us or not, but it looks like your camera's been turned off. Not really sure what's going on there, but let's see here.
Gotta love technical difficulties.
Ladies, if you could leave and then come back on, we'll try to pull you up that way, but definitely check your settings under audio at that point and make sure that your microphone and all that is on. So
it's interesting. I mean, we were just talking to them backstage, so we know that they can hear and see us.
Okay.
Are you there?
Okay. Can you hear and see us?
Yeah, there you are.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we had to switch to my cell phone.
Switch to the phone.
So I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It's not wanting to work. So
it says everything's working fine, but it is not.
I don't know what's happening here. Sorry, guys.
Hey, that is a-okay.
No. All right. Sorry.
All right.
No worries. So we have Lisa and Debra. Yep. Deb and Lisa, we are extremely happy to have you here tonight.
We are very happy to be here.
Excited to talk with y'all.
Yeah, so we've got a map up of where in relation to Texas, Lavaca County is. But so why don't you tell us a little bit first about yourselves and how you became associated with the historic Lavaca County Jail?
Well, my name's Debra Fawcett, and some friends told me about the jail, and I was anxious to see it. It had been sitting empty for like 10 years. Wow. So I found out that a guy had purchased it the year before, a man, Roger Chambers, who is a realtor, buys a lot of historic properties. So I approached him about letting me do an overnight investigation there. So he was real agreeable with that, and we met him, and I spent a week in there, and we talked. He thought it as kind of a long-term project, didn't have time to work on it. And I fell in love with that place. I said, I'll help you work on it. So I ditched my job as managed a busy medical practice in Houston for like 35 years. Told my husband, I'm leaving and I'm going to go work on this jail. He's like, yeah, you're crazy. So, but we did. I spent about, a year working on restoring electricity, water, cleaning it up. It was awful. And just experienced so much activity there that I spoke with Roger about allowing paranormal groups to come in there and investigate, because I've been to a lot of places and this was just like mind-blowing. So we did that to help, supplement our restoration efforts. Lisa was in a paranormal group that came to visit the jail a couple of times, and we met, and I liked her, and she loved the jail.
So, right.
So I kind of absorbed her into everything with me, and she and her husband
Happily accepted.
Yeah, she and her husband helped us work on all the restoration there for the last
6 years now.
7 years.
Yeah, 6 years now. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. That's fantastic.
Been an
Now,
amazing
when was the jail built? Like, what's the history surrounding it?
Construction on the jail began in 1885 and opened for business in 1886. It closed in 2005.
Making it the second longest continually running jail in Texas. Although we should be the first because the first jail, it burnt down and they rebuilt it. So technically, I think that we should be the first.
Yeah, there's a jail in San Sabo that gets all the credit for being the oldest, but their original structure burned.
Oh, see, I'd vote for you guys.
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you.
So yeah, we lost by default.
By a fire.
By a fire. But I mean, it was the Lavaca County Jail for all those years, and still standing. God willing, so we'll be for a while.
And it houses the original cells, which were constructed in 1874.
Oh, wow.
The newer cells, which were constructed in 1976. So it shows like 100-year span between.
Yeah, that's a really cool thing about it.
Cell technology, which is really, really cool.
You get to see the old flat bar medieval cells upstairs, and then the newer ones that were added downstairs in 1976. And I had conversations with previous deputies that worked there until it closed, and I asked one of the deputies one day, I said, "You still lock people up here in these old cells, even in 2005? He said, "Oh yeah, that was my preference."
It's pretty scary. So
yeah. And we've had a lot of former prisoners come by and relate their stories to us about the time they spent there in those cells upstairs. And they all have some interesting stories.
All have some interesting stories. Absolutely.
Oh, I'm sure. And that is what's so fascinating to me about your jail is, like our jail, obviously it's been renovated through the years. So, I mean, we had a woman come in and ask to see the original cells that were here in 1904, and we had to tell her it's been renovated. We don't have those cells anymore. But for you guys to have them, it's fantastic.
Yeah, everything is just like it was.
From the sheriff's parlor to the sheriff's bedroom to the sheriff's office to the kitchen area, everything.
And originally there was an old house that stood on that property that belonged to Marshall Merritt, and he donated all the property there to build a new jail for the county, and it was built connected to his home. So from that point on, sheriffs always lived there with their families.
Up until the 1960s.
Until 1969. The last sheriff's family that lived there, he and his deputy were killed by prisoners they were transporting. And that was the last family that lived there.
Which Sheriff Ronnie Dodds.
Sheriff Ronnie Dodds. And Deputy Albert Yakubek. Well, in 1981, we had the second horrifying flood there that really flooded the entire city of Hallsville. So twice the jail's been filled with 8 feet of water.
Wow.
So completely taking the downstairs completely out.
So the last one in 1981 washed away the original home that sat there. And they still needed that space because that's where their kitchen was, laundry. They did all that for the prisoners there. So it was replaced with the metal building that you see sitting there now. And it was basically an officer's lounge, a kitchen, a laundry room, a couple of small offices. And we get a lot of people that are there visiting. It looks like such a homey little...
It does. It looks and feels like the coziest little area to hang out.
And it feels so benign.
It is so not benign. It is further from benign to me. I get more stuff in there than I do in the cells, personally.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, but that whole area is older than the actual jail. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of.
And we've had a lot of investigators say, we get voices of children. Well, a lot of families grew up in this house, and we have one of our first sheriffs,
John Hutchins.
John Hutchins had children that he had 2 children that died while he was sheriff there. Mm-hmm. His youngest daughter, Maud, was born there, died there, had her funeral there. He had a son, Horace, at 8 years old, was killed by, ironically enough, a runaway horse. He wasn't killed on the jail property, but his funeral was there. So it's not unusual to get, previous families and things like that from in there. Mm-hmm.
Now, did it house both men and women?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, it did. There were segregated male and female areas both upstairs in the original cells and in the new ones that they added downstairs. But deputies have told me we put people where we could fit them. If we didn't have women, we had men on the women's side, vice versa. Mm-hmm. But we were fortunate that the sheriff that was killed, Sheriff Dodds, we became friends with his daughter. We actually had a big reception for his family there when they had dedicated a section of highway to him. And she bequeathed us with one of the original jail registry books.
Oh, nice.
1927 to 1947.
Wow.
So every name, how long they were there,
what their fines
were, and little side notes like, lunacy, and they had maybe escaped for a couple days, but it's all handwritten in pencil. And it is just so
cool. That's so funny. The prime sheriff who was reigning during that time was Sheriff McElroy. His granddaughter came to the jail to visit us, and
not that long ago.
Talked to us about her grandfather. When I pulled out that book and said, "We got your grandfather's handwriting," and she's like, "Oh my God!"
It was so cool.
She's like, "I take pictures. You can take pictures of anything you want." Oh, yeah, that was pretty interesting. Interesting to meet family of former sheriffs, some former
prisoners. Yeah,
and there were a number of reported custodial deaths there, a number of suicides. There was once a gallows that stood off to one side of the yard where we found 3 documented public hangings. I believe those stopped in 1923 when it became the job of the state to do the killing. So you didn't get hung in county jail anymore. You went to prison in San Antonio or Austin or wherever.
That was actually going to be my question. Now, do you all have other artifacts? I mean, is it set up like a museum in there, or is it just, can people go and tour the building?
We have very few items that were actually there at the jail.
At the time.
We've had a lot of donated things to us from prison guards and jailers and antique jail stuff. We have a few things that we've found throughout the jail during our cleanup, and old tear gas bombs.
Yeah.
We found them in the attic.
That's awesome.
Interesting thing.
Interesting things.
A little shooting gallery thing that was on somebody's desk at one point in time.
We have searched high and low, every ceiling, every floor. We have looked. So, yeah.
Most places. I covered all the ads.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Yeah, we seem to be getting some audio issues. I'm going to try something while we're talking. I'm going to try muting mine and your mic, Christy, just to make sure it's not feedback. Just to see.
All right. I don't know if it's yours or mine.
No, it seems to be some type of, it's not feedback, it's some kind of audio issue there on theirs.
Yeah, there's some type of an audio issue there.
Yeah.
Is that better?
The audio's better, yes.
No, we can't hear anything.
There you go.
Okay.
You sound kind of cocky to us.
No, I lost the video.
And it seems to be frozen.
There you go. Can you hear us? Yeah. Diane, it probably is the spirits.
Probably is, yeah. I can hear feedback when we talk. I can kind of hear it, but anyways, we'll
crackle hear us.
Maybe
I'm sorry?
Maybe we can try this.
Can you hear us or no?
We can, but it's really crackly. It seems to be a little bit better right now. Maybe not.
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna try to move to a different room.
Okay.
See if that does anything at all.
We're on the move.
I know, right?
It does not seem to be affecting a change. No, we're still crackling. We'll move
Try
over.
opening it on your phone.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's
No, you're
crazy
fine.
how that happens. We were getting good sound and everything before, but for some reason, it always seems like phones and stuff tend to have some feedback and have some issues. But we'll work through it here.
Yeah, we'll work through it. So now were you both paranormal investigators before you got associated with the jail?
Yes, I started investigating.
1874.
I know, like 100 years ago. At least 50 years. That's how old I am. So it's true story. When I was like 18 and 19, and I'm like 70, so it's been a while.
Yeah. And same. I was with. I've always been
You're 70?
involved in the. I'm not 70. I've always been involved in the paranormal. Just it's always been a part of my life. But I was with a team for probably about 3 years before I met Deb, and we've been together for Jesus, I don't know, way too long. It's a little over 6 years. So.
Oh, that's
We have a lot of
fantastic.
combined experience.
Very nice. Now, when the jail
We've
first
had
opened,
probably,
I'm sorry.
Now, when the jail first opened,
Yeah, so when the jail first opened and to paranormal investigators, what was the reception in the community? Has the community embraced it, or is it something that they kind of shy away from? What's the reception like?
No, it was actually pretty good. I made a lot of new friends right off the bat. Everybody in town would stop by when they'd see me out there working, and what are you going to do with the building, and blah blah blah. And we wanted to turn it into a museum, give it back to the community after, when they built the downstairs cells in 1976. They added this awful building in the front that covered up most of the facade of the jail.
Okay.
So it was always our goal to remove that, work on the exterior of the jail, and
bring it back to its original
bring
look.
it back to how it looked in 1885.
Because it's a beautiful, beautiful building, and they
It is.
messed it up by putting this big ugly block in
yeah.
front of it. It's terrible.
It was awful, but they didn't care back then. So,
But when we started doing the demo for that and the construction for that, it really brought a lot of people in. And I don't think we've ever we haven't really had any negativeness from the community at all.
No.
Hallettsville is an amazing
not at all.
community.
Not at all.
It's a very,
People love the jail. We were inundated with police officers. We first
yes,
started
we
working
were.
on
They
it.
love the jail.
Because a lot of them had never, they're all young guys, they'd never even been inside of that. So it kind of became a ritual. When they would get a new rookie, they'd bring him to grandma and lock him up in the upstairs cells. And it was so funny. It was so much fun.
Feed them cookies. And
Yeah, I always had cookies and coffee. So this is before I started having groups there, and I would just be in there at night working on the building. So I was always grateful for them to come over and keep me company. Yeah, it was way better than being there alone. But yeah, generally, I mean, just everybody was overjoyed that we were doing something with it, and it wasn't going to just sit there and crumble.
Very cool. Very cool.
Like this.
Now, we
bring a lot of that community. This is a very small town. It's got a very quaint little town square and lots of history. That's yeah, you need to plug that into a charger right there.
Right.
But lots of history. So I mean, we get lots of larger scale, like public investigations with lots of people.
We had Nick Groff at our jail
Nick
for the weekend.
And shot the series Debra a year and a half ago. Yeah, it brings money to the community. People shop, they go eat, they go see things, and so I think they're grateful to have it.
So, So is there any specific stories about some of the activity that really stick out in your all's mind from either investigations that you've done or investigations that other investigators have done there?
Well, it's definitely nonstop, and nobody leaves with nothing. That is for sure. We've had, I mean, anything and everything you can think about experiencing as far as paranormal and beyond paranormal is experienced there at the jail. Not only by Debra and I, but our guests as well. We've had people, people that have been to some of the most amazing haunted locations in America come to our jail, fly. Some people that flew
from all over the country,
from like way up north, Ohio-ish area, flew down, booked the jail, and they were there for like 3 hours, and they called and were like, this was way more than,
we're
really bargained for. Like, we were expecting paranormal. This is the jail, the whole.
It's too much paranormal for them.
It was too much for them.
Wow.
The jail is a third dimension type place. There's more things there that you'll experience than just EVPs or disembodied voices, your typical things that you would think of when you go to a location.
And when it goes beyond that,
it's freaking crazy.
People don't like it.
And yeah, people don't like. I don't like it.
I mean, we've had episodes of time loss. We've had me hearing her talk to me when she is way over there, not even close, and vice versa.
Showing up in people's photos when we weren't on the property.
Wow.
Some crazy
just having a conversation with her in the back kitchen, and then she's sitting in the garage. It's just very different there. It's
we would often say to each other, just give me back the boot. I'm down with somebody voice in the hallway, or the knocking or the slamming of the door, or footsteps, but this other stuff, I didn't sign up for that.
Yeah, I think the time loss thing for me was one of the nights where I was just wanted to leave and go. We used to sleep at the jail. Like when we were up there working on it, that's where we used to live. So, we were always there. But that night, I mean, I looked at her and I'm like, I want to go to a hotel. I can't be here right now. She's like, suck it up, Buttercup. You were right. So we ate cake and we stayed, but it was a rough night.
We've had some rough nights.
We've had some rough nights.
And I, consider myself a seasoned veteran, but until that jail, there were things I experienced that changed all my beliefs. And, you get to a point where you think you finally have figured some stuff out. I know this works. I know this works. And then something like this, you're like, I don't know anything.
Yeah, we're definitely losing you guys.
I know nothing. Kind of shakes a little bit in that regard. And then I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're losing you pretty good on the sound right now.
I'm not in there actively all the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're definitely losing you guys on the sound, but we've got a lot of people over here in the comment section that says that, you know, your location is such an interesting location, and definitely to book a paranormal investigation there. So Jason and Alex, Lee, it looks like everybody who's been there has had an amazing experience.
Yeah, and that's just a true testament when you've got people that jump on advocating for people to book a night at your location and saying such great things and talking about their activity. We've been pulling those comments up as we've been doing the broadcast here. So again, thank you guys over in the chat room that have been commenting and you know, putting your experiences and stuff up there. So again, we apologize for any audio issues here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I do have a question. So when we got our jail, we had deputies come in and they were telling us stories of hauntings as the jail was in operation. So even before it closed, there were reports of hauntings that happened here. Is that the same with y'all's jail at all?
Yes, ma'am. We've had a few deputies, and one of the lady that who was the lady that used to sit, and she would sit out front and smoke cigarettes.
Oh yeah, she was a switchboard operator.
Switchboard operator.
For a long time. She said, yeah, I would sit here and all the intercom buttons would light up for all the inter-office phones. When there's no one here but me, she said, you can usually find me sitting on the front steps outside waiting for someone else to show up. But even Jen, he told me, he said, I would hear that they had intercoms in the cells for the prisoners. I would hear those come on and just nothing but static.
Wow.
And there's no one up there. He said, I hear toilets flush. There'd be no one there. I said, did you ever go up and check it out? Well, no. No.
Wow. Yes,
Now,
go ahead.
I was just going to ask if there's if your location has power and heating and that sort of thing, because I know we've had people talk about certain we've got power and electricity and heating in there, but you know, the elevator can go up and down on its own. So I didn't know if you guys had power as well.
Oh wow. We do have power in the back and in parts of the jail.
Well, we have power everywhere. We just don't have.
Well, not like outlets upstairs, but there's a
Well,
lot.
no. There's never any outlets in that cell areas, but we can get power there.
So if investigators, for overnight investigation, investigators, they just contact you or go to your website? What's the best way to reach you guys? They're muted.
On our Facebook page, Haunted Old Lavaca County Jail, the first post on our page is a link to book the jail. And you can book a night, you can book a 24-hour filming, you can book a week, you can book a weekend, which we highly recommend because our daytime activity is off the chart.
It really is off the charts. Most of the things that happen that bring me out of there have been during the day.
So it is very active during the day. So we always, try to tell people book it for the weekend because it's you don't want to miss that daytime activity because it's really good.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
We have a site through Instagram, right?
I think it's the same link.
It's the same link.
Okay, so Instagram as well. So what I'm hearing is, so if you're an investigator, so if you're an investigator and you want to visit the Haunted Lavaca County Jail, which I highly recommend that you do, just go to their Facebook page that apparently has all the information there. They also have an Instagram page, which is very helpful. But, from the people who are in the comment section, it sounds like it's an active jail. I'd love to get down there. I mean, I've got extended family in the area, so I can make it a family reunion / paranormal investigation night.
We do free tours during the day. People can message us on our page, and make arrangements with us to set that up. We're not there all the time, so.
Yeah, it's not open all the time. So if anybody would like to come, they just message us and we can book a tour or whatever they like.
Okay, so if y'all didn't catch that, if you want a daytime tour, they're not open every day, but to go ahead and message them and they'll get you set up with a tour if you want to do a daytime tour. And also all the information will be on their Facebook page.
Yeah, and we just put that up there in the comments section and pulled it up on the screen. We've also got it in the show notes, so definitely go on there. Plus their website, they've got, I'm actually going to put the link to that right now, which is Rita Properties Incorporated. And it's got where you can book. It's also got great photos. It's got a great information on the history. So I'm going to pull that up right here. And I apologize for muting mics here. I was muting back and forth as we were talking to keep the feedback from coming. So as soon as I know there's a little delay, and so as soon as we answer or ask a question, I've been unmuting. So I apologize for doing that.
So, ladies, we do have the feedback issue. We're, sorry about that tonight, but I think what you guys have done with the jail is just fantastic. And, to your point, Deb, the fact that it's not rotting away anymore, right? That there's a museum there, that there's upkeep, that there's essentially life inside the jail again. That to me is just a tremendous testament to what you both are doing there at the jail. So kudos to you both for putting in the effort to make that happen.
Oh, we love that place very much.
Definitely a labor of love, as you guys know.
It really is.
We'll keep doing it till we can't do it anymore, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, absolutely. So because of the audio issues, what we'd like to do is get you guys back on at another time, if that's okay. And we'll set something up because, like I said, I think your building is fantastic and what you're doing there is fantastic. So if we can get you back on at another time when we don't have the feedback issue, I think that's just a great conversation.
Thank y'all so much.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know for myself personally, I'm going to be planning a trip over there because I really want to check out your location. So it'd be great to meet you both in person.
All right, so we're going to pull you out, but if you'll stick around after we end, we'll chat with you after the show's over. Okay.
Well, I was unfortunate about the audio, but, it really is. If you go to their Facebook page, if you go to their website, they have put in a lot of work at this location. And to everybody who's been over here commenting about it, it does seem like it has a lot of paranormal activity, a lot of interesting paranormal activity, everything from catching shadow figures to footsteps to door slamming, pretty much anything you could want in a paranormal investigation. You can probably find it there at the Lavaca County Jail.
Yeah, and I just love seeing these locations getting a second chance and getting a new life, with these museums. Plus, it's interesting where we're talking to these people, just the different ways, where you've got your people who they're either owned by the location owners or, by the individuals we're talking to, or like in the case of last week, or the week before, the historical society. So it's interesting just to kind of look at the differences as well as the similarities when you're looking at these locations as well.
Right. And to those who are mentioning that they love the jail series, to your point, Miranda, that's exactly why we want to do this, right? Because no two jails are the same. And to be able to talk to these people who are putting in so much effort to preserve these locations and doing it in really unique ways. We have museums that are strictly museums. They allow paranormal investigations on the side. We have those that do different events, unique events in the community and really rally the community at these locations as well. And it is just a testament to the fact that historic preservation is alive and well at these locations. And that to me is really encouraging.
Yeah. And the one thing they all do seem to have in common is that the paranormal is what has either A, kept their lights on, or B, really brought a lot of people into the location. I mean, history is great, but, it seems like, it just doesn't draw in as much as the paranormal, because the folks that are investigating the paranormal, I mean, they're there. It doesn't matter if you've got a bathroom. It doesn't matter if you've got heat. They're there, And so that does seem to be one of the big key things that people really like to enjoy, the little after dark activity.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, you and I talked about this at length about, the fact that we feel that jails and prisons are extremely haunted locations, right? By their very nature of what they had to go through when they were in operation, right? All of the negative that the walls really felt, and it just kind of permeates into those walls. So it's no question in my mind that jails and prisons are haunted. I mean, ours is extremely haunted, and it sounds like the old Lavaca County Jail is as well.
Yeah, and it's interesting hearing the stories too about like the jailer's family that lived there, because we're finding in all of them that we've talked to, they've all had that. They've all had the jailer's family live there, and at least for similar amounts of time. I mean, ours, we quit housing the jailer's family in 1971, and so similar time frames, so it's interesting to hear these stories, hear about the spirits that these folks come encounter with, that they're able to actually identify and communicate with on a regular basis. They spend so much time in these locations that they know who they're talking to.
Right. Sorry about Sally, everybody. And another thing that I find is interesting is, we've asked the question to these locations is if deputies and sheriffs have come back and said it was active before it even closed, while it was still in operation as a jail. And I think that's pretty incredible, especially when you have something as old as the historic Lavaca County Jail and as old as our jail. It's no surprise to me that you have those activities going on even when the jail is in operation as a jail.
Yeah, because I mean, you would imagine a jail is bustling with activity, just day-to-day activity. It's not a quiet place. And if their jail is like ours and like some of the others we've been in, they're very echoey. The acoustics are kind of crazy. So you would imagine they're an extremely loud place. So to get activity, and they're going 24/7 because there's times inmates aren't sleeping. So to have that activity in a very active place, I mean, that says something, that they're recognizing this while the jail is in operation.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to getting them back on. I do think we get them back on, and when we have some good audio, and really talk to them about the jail a little bit more in depth, because I do think they're going to have some great stories to tell.
Yeah. And so, like we said, we're going to go ahead and wrap things up here in a second. Definitely keep an eye on our website. Go and check out our special tours that we're doing this month, our Love Kills tour. You can read kind of a brief synopsis of those if you come in for the self-guided daytime tours, or you can get the full story as well as hear about some of our haunting activity on our flashlight tours. And I know we've got multiple dates. I think on this one we've got we do 2 a night, typically Friday through Sunday night, 6 and 8 p.m. So those are booking kind of fast. So if you are interested, we do have up to 10 people on each of these tours. So get your reservations in now from the historicscottcojail.com website.
Yep, absolutely. And then we'll be announcing our Tag the Cell. We'll put that announcement out here tomorrow. So, but thank you, everybody. Again, apologize for the audio issues, but we will have Deb and Lisa back. And please go check out their Facebook page. Go check out their website. Learn all that you can about the historic and haunted Lavaca County Jail there in Lavaca County.
Yeah, and just kind of a programming note, we will not be live next Sunday night. We had a great guest for next Sunday night, but we're actually pushing them to the next week because it's Super Bowl Sunday. And we know you may want to watch us instead of that, but we want to make sure for our guests, though, that we do reach the maximum amount of people. And
we didn't want to make you choose.
Exactly. And so you're going to really enjoy this guest. We're going to be traveling to Virginia, up up just a little bit close to DC up there. We're going to be having them on, and this guy's got some great stories from his location as well. So that will not be next week. We will remind you about that. It'll be the week after, but just want to go ahead and mention that just in case, you're looking for us next week. You can watch the Super Bowl instead.
Exactly. We didn't want to make you choose on that. So, but anyway, thank you guys for hanging with us tonight. We do hope that you have a very blessed evening. And again, go check out the Lavaca County Jail, and hope everybody has a great night.
Good night, everyone.